AP top 25, right, goes as shown, and this is as of yesterday, right? This is not going to change until next week, but this is our top 25, and as you can see, I'm a Gators fan. We're coming in there in the at 19. We got some work to do, but the reason why I'm showing you this, the reason why I'm bringing this to your attention, the reason why I want to talk about it is, again, we're heading in towards tournament season. So within those top five, right, within those top five teams, Arizona, UConn, Michigan, Duke, Nebraska, let's talk about if we're going to be able to trust these schools, why or why not heading down the stretch. Because tournament season is crazy. Tournament season is unpredictable, and tournament season really brings out stars, right? ESPN put out their top 50 players right now, right? Their top 50 players in college basketball, right? The landscape of college basketball. Did you know within those top 50 players in college basketball, 14 of them are freshmen. 14 of them are freshmen. 18, 19-year-olds, kids came and, go to the local club, bar, whatever it is, right? They're drinking Powerade and Gatorade, right? It just shows the youth of the sport. It shows the youth of college basketball. It shows why it's so exciting. It's a shame these guys are one and done, because even when they go to the NBA, like, that excitement doesn't carry, right? Which is unfortunate, and which is why I personally am a fan, or more of a fan, of college sports than professional. But that's a topic for another day. Let's dive into it. We've already talked about Michigan a little bit, right? So, but to answer the question, right, can you trust them going into March Madness? When it comes to Michigan, I'm going to say yes. I could trust them, right? This is a team that had just won a tough game versus Nebraska. This is a team that is 10th in assists per game, which means you get a lot of ball movement, but they're also 6th in rebounds per game, which means they crash the boards. That's the type of formula you're going to need, right, when you're going into March Madness. This is also a team that is led by some dudes. You got Yaxel Lundenberg, right? Elliot Cadeau, Morez Johnson Jr., right? These guys are the type of guys that are going to carry Michigan towards that next step, right? So do I trust Michigan? Yes. However, I do think Michigan State, number 7, is a big threat to Michigan, which we'll find out Friday. But Michigan, are they ready? Do I trust them? I trust them. They get my vote, right? Next school I want to dive into, this team that they really just played, Nebraska. Do you trust Nebraska? I don't know if I trust Nebraska, right? Again, I know they're off to their best start in school history, 20-0 for the first time in God knows how long, right? Big Red is, live in action, right? This is a team that, when you get to those tournament type of games, experience starts to kick in. Experience takes precedence, right? You look at last year's Florida team, right? Last year's Florida team was carried by experience, right? Playing in those tight games, right? Not getting tight, right? Knowing when to make a play. Walter Clayton Jr. was a dog, right? You need a point guard, all right, when you get to March Madness, right? So my only concern for Nebraska, and the reason why I can't trust them right now, is they're in unfamiliar territory. And what did I say? How soon can they adapt and get comfortable with being in unfamiliar territory heading towards March? There's still a lot of games to be played. All right, there's still a lot of games to be played, right? If they get more close games, so they start winning those, maybe they change my mind. But we'll see. All right, next team. Who do you trust? Arizona. Listen, I know they're the number 1 team in the country, right? I know Bronny James is on that team. I also know they got a couple other studs on that team, right? We got Braden Burries and Jaden Bradley, right? Two dogs on the team. But the one thing that scares me about Arizona is history. History scares me when it comes to Arizona and March Madness. And this is what I mean by that, right? 2024, 2 seed. 2023, 2 seed. 2022, 1 seed. 2018, 4 seed. 2017, 2 seed. What do those teams have in common besides being rated in the top 5 or, of their bracket? None of those teams made it past the Sweet 16. All early exit teams, right? So yeah, we could get excited about an Arizona team that's doing well right now, that's balling right now, that's taking care of business right now. They still got to do it in the tournament. And that's I just gave you 5 years where they've been a top seed and have yet to get to the Sweet 16, right? And you're playing a 15 seed, a 15 seed, well, excuse me, first round. If you're playing any of those teams, you're playing anywhere between 15, 16, 8 or 9, right? 12, 13. Listen, you're playing teams you should beat, is my point, right? So can Arizona overcome history is my biggest question, and the reason why I'm choosing not to trust them right now, right? And this is different from Nebraska because Nebraska, even though they haven't been there, they could gain that close game experience over the next couple weeks going into the tournament season and maybe getting them ready for March Madness. It just seems like there's been a black cat walking across Tucson, Arizona, and around March Madness, and they just can't get past the Sweet 16. So therefore, I don't trust them. I don't trust them. Duke, listen, Duke's one of those teams that's tricky also. Duke is one of those teams where it's like they always have a star. It could be the number one pick. It could be a household name. They always have a star, but they always lose. They always lose when they're really when they really have the most expectations on them, so to say, right? You think about Cooper Flag, Kyrie Irving, you think about Zion Williamson, you think about all these guys had a whole lot of hype, right, throughout the season, right, when it comes to college basketball. This year it's Cam Boozer, right? So do you trust Duke? I'm going to say right now I trust Duke. I trust Duke because why? As I mentioned, that list, ESPN, they have the best player in the country. Right? Number one on that list was Cam Boozer, right? And even though they played some tight games lately, I'll give them that, right? Even though they played some tight games, you think about Seton Hall, right? You think about no, not Seton Hall. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of UConn. But this is a Duke team that averages 85 points per game and only allows 64 points per game. They're almost doubling and beating their opponents by 20 points per game. I think this is a team that focus. It's not really a lot of distractions around them, right? And I'm gonna ride with we're trusting Duke. I'm gonna ride with trusting Duke, but still a scary team to trust when you get to the tournament. So we'll see how all that comes together, right? And I believe the last school we have, right, UConn, right? Do you trust UConn, right? Yes, I trust UConn. Now, even though UConn has had some tight games as of late, right? This is a team that's probably the strongest team, right, in the top 25 right now. Stronger than Arizona, in my opinion. Stronger than Michigan, right? Stronger than Duke, right? Yes, I trust UConn. Again, Seton Hall, Providence, close games. Maybe a little bit too close to my liking, right? But they're on a 12-game win streak, right? And these close games are actually going to come into play. Dan Hurley knows what he's doing, right? Dan Hurley knows what he's doing. He's getting these boys right. And I'm going to choose to trust UConn. All right, trust UConn when we're heading towards down the stretch in regards to March Madness, all right?